I can't do it. We'll do it live.
Okay.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
This is a Kmart production, brought to you by Dudzik Chiropractic and MJB Electric. Welcome to ZaBillsPodcast. If this is your first time, we discuss the Bills games while we review two different Buffalo pizzas. Thank you and enjoy the show.
Listener's discretion is advised. ZaBills Podcast.
All right, welcome back to a happier week than the last two. I'm not going to be yelling as much. Bills win 23-20 and a nail biter. Was it closer?
Unconventional.
Yeah. Was it closer than it was?
It was pretty close to what I predicted, actually. Well, I mean, not as close, I guess. I was calling like 19-14 or something, I think I said last week. But it was closer than that. So it's a division game. I mean, you never know what happens in division games.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people thought there was going to be the new coach bump that debatably did happen. I mean, the Jets didn't play badly. We didn't play fantastically, but we played good enough to win.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I will say I think this is the first week that the defense bailed us out.
Yeah.
I think the defense played really well.
Yeah.
Even though they had some room for improvement.
Well, exciting news. If you happen to live under a rock and you haven't heard, the Bills acquired Amari Cooper from the Cleveland Browns. Mm-hmm. Sounds like they got him pretty cheap.
They did. Yeah. They did. I have it right here. So the Bills got Amari Cooper in a 6th-round pick, and the Browns got a 3rd-round pick and a 7th-round pick.
I mean, that's
2026.
I mean, that's pretty good. I would do that all day long.
Yeah.
Here, give me that thing.
Yeah, it's pretty good. And plus, like, the value for Amari Cooper compared to, like, Devontae Adams is huge. We only pay him, like, $900,000 about compared to $11 million, I think Devontae Adams was getting. I don't know if it
was it more than that? I thought it was more than that.
It might. Well, just for this year, I'm talking about.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I know he reworked some stuff with the Jets for, like, years after, so I'm not sure how all that's going. But
so they got him for at least 3 years, right?
I know he reworked it, so I don't know if it's still the same as it was. He did have about 3 years, but I know he reworked it, so I'm not sure. Let me look at it here.
So, well, folks, if you're not on the text line, somebody said, good luck with that because you have a 40-plus-year-old quarterback and a team that's not – you're 2-4.
The Jets, it's confusing to me because I get what they want to do. I just don't think they are going to be able to do it. I mean, they're all in on a 41-year-old quarterback, and for the most part, a wide receiver that, you know, he's kind of a rental. Even though they're going to rework a deal with him, I can't see him playing there in 3 years from now with another, you know, crappy quarterback that comes in after Rodgers. So they're going all in. To me, this is going to set the Jets back probably 3 or 4 or 5 years when all's said and done.
Is he a head case? Devontae? Is he Diggs-esque?
They're all divas. The wide receivers, they want the ball. This is their moment in the sun. They only have a short window of time. They want to be the guy. And when they got a shitty quarterback, it's hard to be the guy.
So no, everybody eats in New York?
Definitely not Mike Williams. I know that.
No. Yeah, they have horses though now.
Backed up the bus over him last night. So
they got a pretty good 1-2 punch. I mean, you saw what Wilson did without Adams against us last night. Mm-hmm. They got a pretty good 1-2 punch now.
Okay, question. Because the Jets announced that they were getting Adams, do you think that put a fire under Bean to get Cooper done ASAP?
Absolutely.
You know what I think? I think that they had an agreement in principle with Cooper. I think they were waiting to see how the Adams one shook out because maybe they were in on it. And when the Jets said, we'll take all the salary, well, the Bills were like, well, screw that. Called Cleveland right away. Let's make it happen.
I couldn't see the Bills going for Adams, though. Cooper's cap hit this year is like nothing.
Yeah, I have that right here, actually.
Yeah, while
Cooper's $806,667 for the rest of the year.
And that guy's going to suffer.
Adams is 11.6.
Yeah. We have nothing to do with that.
Nope.
$10 million plus difference.
Nice. I think Bean dipped his toes in that pool just to see. You know, it's kind of like the hot girl at the junior high dance that you like trying to build up to go and talk to.
Ooh, nice.
And you're talking about it all night long, and then at the end of the night, you never even say a word to her.
Got to man up.
Yeah, I feel like the Bills kind of, like Bean always does. He always says he puts a call out there to get the feelers out there, but I don't think it was ever for real. I don't think it was ever serious.
Well,
you got to
worse
check
than
on
Cooper.
Yeah.
That's for sure. You could do worse than Cooper.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
So when it comes down to it,
Mac
it's
Collins.
Yeah.
Or MBS.
Well, he got cut, right?
yeah.
MBS was released, yeah.
Yeah.
Should
Gotta
anybody
make room.
else be released?
Bass. He's not a wide receiver, but get him the hell out of here.
They're going to be fighting over the number 2.
Yep.
Cooper and Bass both wore the number 2 jersey.
There'll be no fight.
What?
I think Cooper took 19.
Did he?
I saw today.
Okay. Isaiah McKenzie, old number.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, I have the Devontae Adams thing. So I guess he reworked his deal with the Jets. He's going to make the salary cap number is $3.21 million this year for him. Oh. And then there's 2. This is per Adam Schefter. 2 voidable years were added to the deal, and the 2 sides now will discuss his future in New York after the season.
So those numbers, could that have worked here?
I don't think so.
I don't even
so.
think they could do
Still
$3
too
million.
soon.
money.
They would have to do some serious reworking or something.
We don't have $3 million in cap space?
I don't think so.
Okay.
And here's the other thing too. You alluded to it, and I read it today. I don't think it was in our text feed. I think it was on Twitter. What's Adams going to do when Rodgers probably retires after this year? The way he's been talking, what's he going to do now? He's going to be stuck in New York. So that's why those voidable years are probably part of his look.
Yeah,
I'm here. Let's do this, and then I want out.
Right. Yeah. But Mike, remember the Jets drafted that quarterback in the top 2. Don't they still have that quarterback? They drafted a couple years
Zach
ago.
Wilson?
No, he's in Denver.
Yeah, I know. I was facetious there, but yeah, I was trying to right. To add to that, there's no backup. There's no backup plan.
Well, that's
It's
my
not
point.
that you got Rodgers at 41. There's not a young Aaron Rodgers behind Brett Favre and waiting in New York.
And
there's nobody.
Adams isn't getting any younger either.
Oh,
and he hasn't played for a contender now in a few years, right? Since
I
Rodgers.
can't believe he wanted out of the Raiders that bad to go to a 2-4 Jets.
Yeah, but here's what everyone's talking about. If you look at the Jets, I mean, that was kind of their peak last night. I mean, they got the Bills one more time, but the Steelers, the Patriots, the Dolphins twice or one more time, Cardinals, Colts, okay, Seahawks, Jaguars, Rams. Their schedule is beyond light. When they say they're going for it based on their strength of schedule going forward.
Okay, good point.
So, I mean, it could be that when they say all in, it is kind of all in this year with that quarterback and that receiver. Their weapons were there. It's just the Bills outperformed them.
So do you agree with the Jets' mindset that they're one player wide receiver away from it?
They could make a run. You know what? I think next week's going to tell the Steelers. If they got to go to Pittsburgh, if the Steelers can come out and win and push them at 2-5, I think they're in a whole different trajectory. If they go and they get that win, then they play the Patriots. Okay, the Texans might be a hiccup, but then they could roll 4 or 5 in a row and really give us a run for our money. But, the Bills with Cooper kind of pushed back and said, we'll raise you. We'll call.
Yeah, I got to admit, I'm pretty excited about the Cooper thing. Like, we were talking about how the game, I didn't know what to think last night, and I was a little not happy about it, I guess, when I first was thinking about it. But the Cooper thing is unbelievable to me. Like, the Bills never make trades that mean a whole lot. And so they did finally, and the guy that all of us have been talking about for weeks now, and it fits perfectly with our salary cap mess that we have. And he's a good player. If you watch his highlights, it's great. You can throw deep to him. That's Josh's thing with the big arm. And so, it'll loosen up things a little bit more too for the other guys. Like, we're always talking about Curtis Samuel getting going and, the running game a little bit too, which we'll touch on later, I'm sure. But I think it'll help everything.
I want to mention one more thing. I think it kind of makes the whole Diggs thing a little bit easier to swallow. If you look at Cooper in a second, because we got a second from Diggs. We got Cooper in a second. We traded a third in Diggs. It makes that deal a little bit more feasible right now. I know the cap. I know you discount all the money that got exchanged and all that stuff. But if you look at those players and then the drafts we sent a third, we picked up a second. It makes that trade for Diggs a little less painful, I think, going forward.
And I think to what Dennis was saying about everything kind of rolling down the river now, because defenses, whether they like it or not, are going to have to respect Cooper. I mean, he's not a Keon Coleman. He's not a Khalil Shakir. He's a legit, 1,000 yards a season receiver that a number one cornerback is going to have to pay attention to. And they may have to shade a little bit to him now that he has Allen. And that frees up Kincaid, because to be honest, and I think Bean probably looked at it from like a super wide angle, that where were they going with this current group? There's no threat. And I think it was so visible because it was so obvious because you saw Allen's best plays are the ones where he's running sideline to sideline, chucking up ridiculous passes that's not sustainable. And I think that's what they looked at and said, we got to get somebody in here to back off some of these defenses. That frees up a spy now that may not be able to get on Allen. All the shit that we've been successful with for the last 5 years. This, I think, kind of goes closer to that than we were last night.
Do you think that's partly offensive scheming problems, though, too?
I think it's
with Joe Brady.
I think it's personnel.
Yeah, I think it's personnel too.
I agree.
Also,
we haven't had a legit deep threat. We haven't had one this year.
No.
So
Allen's tried, but it's just not there.
no, I mean as far as a receiver goes.
That's what I mean. He's
haven't-
tried to get someone deep, but there's nothing there.
You can't outrun the coverage.
Yeah,
the
right.
closest thing was like that throw to Coleman last night, and he couldn't get separation.
Yep.
So
If you look at all 22 and you see these overhead shots of these plays, there is zero separation. That just is not happening.
Well, the one highlight I did see where Josh throws that missile to Hollins right over the middle, and even on TV they were like, if he would have ran flat instead of deep, he would have been wide open for a touchdown.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, they just settled for 3 points in that play, and it was off his hands. They were saying a better quality receiver probably has that comfortably, but yeah.
So we're 5 weeks or 6 weeks in now. I guess this wide receiver crew is not as good as I was hoping they were going to be. Yes, no?
they're about as mediocre as I thought they were going to be.
With the salary cap jail they found themselves in, it was kind of the best they could do.
Yeah.
And they still got the 4-2.
I wonder now if we would have been better off holding on to Claypool and not MVS.
I don't know about that.
I mean, that guy has been able to stay on a field for 3-4 teams. I think he was just...
All right.
Yeah, he's nowhere else either.
He's
so
a name.
Nobody picked him up. He's been gone since probably early August, mid-August.
Okay. Okay, well, thanks for listening, everybody. Just kidding.
The other thing about Cooper is he had his best year last year. So he is 30, which is like the big number for wide receivers, but he just had his best year last year. So hopefully there's a lot more left.
Yeah.
And we talked about this in previous podcasts. Josh Allen makes people better. And I think this guy is going to he's going to look and say, wow, I got this quality of quarterback. And he's going to make him look better. And I think it's going to make Josh look better too. Josh doesn't really need anybody to make himself look better. Denny was being critical of Josh Allen's game, and I took the opposite approach yesterday.
I mean, I love the guy and all, but...
I know, but you know what? 3 touchdowns, 1 run, 2 passes, that bullet to Knox. I mean, I thought he had a really strong game. Last week, made him look like normal, not super Josh. No interceptions, but I think Josh Allen gets fired up by this. I think when for all those people that sit there and say, is Josh Allen going to leave, this franchise has done nothing but support that man and give him as best as they can the tools to make him as successful and win a championship.
Amari Cooper, Barstool Sports, shared his reaction video, and that was nice to see. He was excited.
That was actually Antonio Brown.
Yeah, it was Antonio Brown.
I was going to say, is this fake?
Yeah, it was. It was
Seriously?
Antonio. It was Antonio. That's old.
I watched it 2 minutes in, and I'm like, that's Antonio Brown.
Yeah, no, that was
Son of a bitch.
It was a joke.
have to cut that.
Yeah. It was Antonio Brown when he got cut from the Steelers way back when he was free, and now look where he's at.
It was a sweet video.
Yeah.
He was calling his
God
grandmother.
dang it.
It hooked me too, and I saw it, and I'm like, oh, because I had never seen that video before.
Yeah, no.
And then as they went in, I'm like, that's Antonio Brown. His haircut is what gave it away to me.
Yeah. But it's
Gosh darn it.
it was still fun.
I got
though.
catfished.
You see the video the Bills posted and said the chemistry's always been there or something like that. It was the game that we had to go to Detroit because of the weather.
Oh,
we
yeah.
played Cleveland.
Yeah.
Josh is scrambling out of the pocket and just dumps it out of bounds, and Amari Cooper caught it one-handed on the sidelines.
Destiny.
Cooper plays in Cleveland. Before that, he was in Dallas.
Yep.
And where was he before that?
The Raiders.
That's who
In
drafted him.
Oakland.
He was a number 4 overall pick.
Okay, so he was with Dak for a few years.
He had some good years with Dak.
Yeah.
I mean, he was real productive.
Yeah.
And if he had his best year with Flacco
Right.
last year,
What is Josh going to do for him?
yeah.
He's had 4 200-yard games. And I think that was like more than all wide receivers in the last like 5 or 6 years. He's had 4 of them.
I've liked him for a while, and I'm glad we got him.
Yeah,
I hope it works out.
And if it doesn't, it's $800,000.
Right.
And we
Not our
essentially
ties.
lost 1 draft pick because we swapped. You know?
Yeah.
To me, I think it's very similar to the trade from last year for Russell Douglas, where that's just a guy that's a gamer, a veteran, and he's come here and done nothing but thrive in the last year and a half. So to me, that's the role he kind of fills, but on the offensive side.
That's a great comparison. Like Cooper, there's low risk and high reward. So you can't get any better.
We should send a gift to Deshaun Watson for fucking everything up over there.
Just a lawyer would do. Good lawyer.
Yeah.
Get him a gift card and massage.
Can I say that? Oh, I was like, can I say that? Dennis broke it right there, yeah.
Excellent. All right, let's get to the game. I, unfortunately, was busy, so I missed a good 3/4 of it. So someone else can kind of steer the ship if they want.
On paper, it looks pretty bad.
Okay.
On paper, the Bills only
Are you our
scored,
guy?
The Bills only scored 3 points the whole second half, but there's 3 points they need to win.
So did the Jets, though.
That's right.
They only
That
scored
is
3.
a good point.
Yeah.
That it really was a first half type of a game where Buffalo, they weren't intimidated by the New York Jets defense at all. The Jets defense had all these stats going in and passing and running, and the Bills kind of had their way with them for the first part of the game. I thought they played with a ton of confidence. And the Jets looked like they were just going to get run out of their own barn. The Bills made it interesting, Hail Mary pass, and a couple of miss a field goal here. By halftime, we had basically given them 11 points. We given them a miss a field goal, an extra point, and then we let them score a 50-yard Hail Mary pass. We basically gave them 11 points, and we were still up 3 when everything was said and done in their barn, where I thought the first half was pretty good.
The Hail Mary at the end kind of killed me a little bit because you kind of wonder if it's coaching, which we like to pile on Sean McDermott, of course, or if it's the execution. But like, there's 3 guys behind him.
Yeah.
Why? Why?
Also,
And
why are you
they
only
were all-
rushing 2?
Yeah.
What's that?
Why they only rushed 2 players, I believe.
Well, that too. Why bother doing anything? There's 5 offensive linemen. Why even have 2 guys rushing?
I mean, I get it. The insurance policy, load the end zone. It can only be an end zone play. There's no time for them to dump it off at the 30-yard line and get anything. I get it. It was a good example of overthinking the play. Sometimes just stick with what you're doing. I get it. But if you rush 5 and he doesn't have all day to load up that arm and step into it, it might balance it out itself. I just think coaching, we can complain. I just think it was a good example of a team overthinking the play.
Yeah, I think you're right. Like you're also facing a 40-year-old quarterback who is kind of hobbled. He has an ankle injury. He tore his Achilles last year, so he's not going to run for 40 yards or anything like that.
I thought of Kyle because they called a timeout to prep for that play.
I saw that.
He's gonna be pissed. And I see the 2 linemen go out there. I'm like, they're not going to do anything.
Aaron Rodgers, sorry, this is real quick. They interviewed Rodgers after the game, and he said that he couldn't believe they were only going to rush 2 because that gave him more time to throw the ball downfield.
It goes to the play before that. They had 14 seconds left, and they were at their own 40 or 41-yard line. Like, if on the Bills, you're sending 8-9 guys on both plays. He can't go anywhere. He's just going to dump the ball off like that. How that played out was not acceptable. That how they played that never should have happened with that amount of time left.
And that was reflective, too, of how the line played like the first half. There was no pressure on Rodgers like the whole first half. It wasn't until they started adding blitzes and stuff in the second half that they finally started getting pressure on him. And then all of a sudden he was not playing very well. And it's like,
they did the same thing last week.
amazing. Isn't it amazing?
Yeah.
It's hard
Like,
to do that
it's like
early
they can't
on.
learn.
Yeah, I mean, McDermott rarely does that in a defensive game plan early on, unless he's playing like a rookie quarterback. Where
What's
he
that, blitz early?
Yeah, where he sends the house.
See,
He kind of lets
that's
the
thing
team
about
settle
the
into it.
blitzing. Like, I feel like with blitzing, you got Aaron Rodgers, he's not what he used to be, but he's still experienced and he's seen most things. So if you throw people at him, that'll at least get him off his game a little bit. Where if you just let him back there and just kind of pick you
Settle
apart,
in, yeah.
like, what do you think's going to happen? Right.
So does this question the coaching staff or what?
I don't think so.
Game in and game out, similar things keep happening? Is this just what they do and we just have to get used to it?
That's what I was thinking. I think it's a little bit of both. I think it's a little bit of how the defensive guys played, but they weren't put in the right position, I don't think, either. And so I think it's a little bit of both. I think that if we lose last night's game, I mean, I would definitely be calling for Sean McDermott's head for sure, without a question.
Somebody in the radio was talking about it today. It was more about you protecting against what's going to hurt you the most. 7 points, not a field goal, 3 points. Protect against what's going to burn you. I mean, you've been in full control of that game. You're up 20-10 at that point. And for the most part, I thought that game could have gotten out of hand. I thought the Bills could have kept going. But that changed momentum. And so you protect against giving up a touchdown. You give them 3 points if you have to. I thought that was backwards how they played that.
Yeah, and that was unbelievable because you go in with that 8 seconds left on the clock. You're up 10. You're going to get the ball at the start of the second half. You feel like you're rolling because you played a really effective game so far, road game on the road, and then they give up that. It could have been a gut punch. It really could have been a gut punch. Hail Mary, 50-yard. At no point in time did the Bills look like I don't know. It looked like it was a feeble defense at best. But, at the end of the day, they recovered. I think you mentioned that second half. They brought some blitzing. He got sacked, I think, 3 or 4 times. They re-injured his ankle.
He was sacked 3 times.
3 times.
22 yards.
22 yards.
Should have been 4.
I was going to say that counts the 4th where, they gave
garbage. The tuck?
No, not
that.
The roughing
the
passer. That
passer. It did even Rodgers said it wasn't roughing the passer.
And the tuck was an incomplete pass. It didn't even count as a sack.
Yep.
But, I mean, so they got pressure on this guy. They really took him off his game in the second half, and good things, we only scored 3 points.
I think the Bills were willing to kind of give up the yards they did. If you take that Hail Mary out, they only gave up 13 points to that team and that offense. It was a bend but do not break game plan, and I know they missed a couple field goals, but they were still kicking them 40-yarders. I thought the Bills' defense tightened up when they had to in that game.
And this wasn't the Patriots either. Like the Jets came to play,
and they have a solid defense.
And the Hail Mary wasn't the best pass play in the entire game. I mean, I'll put it out there. I tried to look at it before the start, but it was that thread the needle. It was the definition of threading a needle Rodgers had.
Yep.
I think it was Bernard.
Bernard
was behind him. It went under his elbow to a guy who was sliding. And
Lazard.
It was unbelievable.
Literally, he had the size of the football to put it in.
And Bernard didn't even know the ball was there.
It was unbelievable what they were able to accomplish.
It kind of just plugged into the wide receiver. I don't even know that he caught it. I think he literally just threw it into him, and it just got stuck in his midsection, and then he, of course, wrapped his arms around it. That was a great throw.
Yep. So I would think that I don't know if we're ready to do it yet, but the electric play of the game, to me, I guess we can talk about it, is the play by Taylor Rapp that saved the touchdown for Breece Hall.
Yep.
Because he was going to score there.
Yep.
And so it's being all alone with a runner like that. I mean that you got to make a good tackle, and he did. He didn't half-ass it or anything. He made a good tackle. He had a few good tackles last night, but that one in particular.
Well, and to piggyback off that, I would say Taylor Rapp was probably the best defensive player out there that we had last night.
Yes.
I mean, it was great to see Taron Johnson back out there. I think he did fantastic. Bernard had some really big tackles and looked like he's getting back to his own. But Rapp, like a week after he got trucked by Derrick Henry, is out there with his big ass helmet on and just destroying guys.
Missile.
The one play where he killed that guy in the back over the middle.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Was an amazing breakup,
and
that was huge. The game was still available then too.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
And then he stops Breece Hall 1-on-1. And then there was another. I want to say there's another tackle on Breece Hall where he was about to be blocked by the lineman, and he just kind of scooted around him and made the tackle.
Yeah,
and
that could have gone for a big gain.
Yeah,
too.
Who did you say
really
made that
good.
play?
I thought it was Rasul Douglas that did that.
It was
Okay.
Rasul
On
Douglas,
that one.
but still.
But yeah, right. He made a ton of plays, though.
They highlighted 3 plays, I believe, in the second half that he made that were game-changing plays. It wasn't the Douglas one, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah. He had, coming back, he had a highlight game. He had a game ball-worthy game. Rapp did as well. But don't take away Johnson. Like, we talked about who was the Jets player that made that one catch, Lazard?
Yeah.
And then the Hail Mary. The fact that Johnson was able to get that interception. I mean, I'm looking at that cartwheel. I'm like, how is it not the cone of the ball not touched? It didn't. He kept that thing off the ground, and he basically sealed the game for him. I mean, that was it. It was over. Josh ran it for a first down. Neil, go to bed early.
So back to the electric player of the game. Let's talk about our sponsor, Mike at MJB Electric, 716-465-5017. For any commercial, residential, electrical needs, call Mike.
Nicely done.
Go, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
I was, yet again impressed from what I saw with Dorian Williams. He went into this game tied for the most tackles in the NFL with 2 other guys. He is not a weakness. He is, man, him and what's going to happen when Milano, if and when Milano comes back? Are they going to run 3 backers?
I'll take depth. I don't care. Someone's going to get hurt.
He's good. I wonder if he'll.
I don't think he's going to displace Milano.
You think Milano's just going to come right in and go?
I think they'll do the smart thing and ease him in. I think they'll do a rotate. I really do think they'll rotate him in for if he's back for the last 2 games. They're not just going to throw Milano in there for the full.
Is anyone else getting excited about this defense? Like Dorian Williams is firing, Bernard is firing, Taron Johnson, Rapp, Douglas. Possibly, what does Von Miller do when he comes back?
Right. I had it written
Probably
down.
Nothing.
They played a bend, don't break. Like they played a great bend, but don't break.
Ed
game
Oliver
yesterday. Right?
Milano.
How many red zones were they in? At least 3 of them where they should have scored at least touchdowns. At least 2 of them they had to settle for 3 field goals.
Yeah, I don't have that stat here.
Yeah, it's crazy because they did come out of it with a win. I don't know how much you take. I mean, there was so much happening in that game with missed field goals, with a shit ton of penalties, a division
22
rival
accepted penalties.
Yeah, I don't know how much you can take away from that. The Bills defense played great. Were they aided maybe with some of those shitty penalties? Sure. So were the Jets. But that's what I'm saying. That was one of those games that it was a 50-50 game. I don't know how much we can really say different.
Yeah, but here's what the stat they had. I took a picture of everything I said to everyone. The Bills win. They have an 85% chance of winning.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, it was a huge game.
Yep.
It wasn't
No
like,
doubt.
like first game of the season, everyone's dusting it off. That was we said it last week. That was the divisional. You might sew up the division there.
You said it many times.
With that, the next 3, I when I'm proven right, I gotta take a victory lap, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't happen often.
Sounds like
It doesn't happen
Bruins
often. 3 of the next 4 divisional games are in Buffalo. That's a huge advantage you have going forward.
It is.
And the one that's not is in New England.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, we got home and home with New England.
Yeah.
Like 2 weeks apart, I think. Or
The last 3
games.
games are division games.
2
in
and
the
3.
season.
Right.
So you mentioned the penalties. I have it right here. 11 accepted penalties for the Bills, 94 yards. 11 accepted penalties for the Jets, 110 yards.
And those are just the accepted. Those aren't the canceled.
I
They won't
think there were
cancel each other
30
out.
total.
No.
What's 30 total flags?
I guess my point is it was a lot of officiating.
Yeah.
But it was
Why? Why
there were
did
some
they
bad calls
throw
on each
so many
side.
flags? I don't understand.
They got into a point where I think they just got into a thing where I made that call, so I'm going to have to even that up. Well, that was for roughing the passer. Well, no, it was for interference. Then there was a holding. And there were situations that they were calling the Jets or the Bills, so they had to even it up 5 minutes later when the Bills were in that situation.
Right. And some of them are blatant. Both teams played a very sloppy game. Like the one who was
Preseason.
it? Kincaid. It was preseason. Like Kincaid literally, I mean, he may have sold it a little bit, but the guy fell down, got up,
and ran
hit
into
Kincaid,
him.
ring into him. You're going to get the call every time. It's going to be pass interference. That's high school pass interference right there. That's a flag in any high school game. Like some of these were just sloppy penalties. That Deion Dawkins fight with that one guy last year. Didn't have to stir that up again.
Oh,
But
dude.
that was stupid.
How
It's just
stupid was that during the 3rd and the 4th period
and,
switch?
And Dawkins got flagged for it. So it was like, all right, which I didn't think he deserved. I'm like, it seems like that guy's being the aggressor. But, that's that. Hey, I think I said it.
Well,
Both
then that
teams,
guy got flagged for talking shit to the ref.
Yes. Right. There's Johnson's makeup call. Both teams were daring the referees to throw the flag, and the referees obliged.
Yep.
They did that all night long. When it came down to the end of the game, I felt at least it was consistent. It wasn't biased one way or another. They got everybody penalized somewhat equally when it all shook out. It wasn't like the Jets had all these, like New England, Kansas City. We talked about that one too. It seemed to even out as the game went on.
The one penalty I didn't agree with was maybe it's the different NFL that we're dealing with here too a little bit, is the Spencer Brown where he threw the guy in the ground and fell on him.
Yeah.
As an offensive lineman, I feel like I remember being taught that
It's a
that
pancake
when you
block.
when you get somebody on the ground, you just fall on them because what the hell, why not? You're taking them out of the play completely, and not to pin him to the ground, but you just fall on him and do whatever. So that might definitely be the new NFL. I don't know, but
Yeah.
So,
And wasn't that the play that negated the pass interference that Mac Hollins
I think
drew?
so. Yeah.
And I was going to say, as much as Mac Hollins has been a little bit of a disappointment, that was probably the smartest play that I've seen any Bills receiver make in a long time.
Yep.
Because you always say, hey, when there's a ball like that, come back and run into the defender, and you're going to get pass interference call every time. All you have to do is come back and run into him. And that's all he did, too. He was not catching that ball.
Yeah.
And I think that was a very heady play. And then it got totally screwed up by the other penalty.
Especially because the Jets' defensive backs are very handsy. And so they grab you all the time. And the refs were right on top of that, which I was glad to see at the beginning. But then, 45 penalties later, you wonder about. But yeah, that's made me think of that.
Yeah.
I think the lead up to the Brown penalty real quickly was the fact that a couple plays before that was when he was getting real hot with, and the refs were breaking shit up. So I think when they saw him do that, that was a way to maybe just send a message to cool it down. Because that was only a few plays before that personal foul.
Yeah, and to that point, do you guys have concerns about this offensive line and all the penalties they are taking? Like, that might have been a soft one, but I feel like it's week after week after week we're talking about the false starts. This week was all the unsportsmanlike conduct. Like,
they're dumbasses.
The holds will happen. I understand that, but the pre-snap penalties with these guys and the where Spencer Brown was lined up wrong for that. There's another play. You got a formation
he was on the end,
issue, and it's like, what is these guys' problem? They ruin every drive that we start.
It's all mental preparation is what it is. And I don't think that's something that's happening sometimes. I think that they're getting too worked up, and it's a division game, whatever. But shut up and play ball. That's it.
They don't like the Jets. I mean, that was carried over from last year. Dawkins doesn't like him. Brown is a shit stirrer. They don't like the Jets. And and the other thing too, back to what Brendan was saying about the offensive line, I thought they were the story in the first half. They knocked the shit out of that Jets front four, and we ran the ball all over them.
Yeah.
So I thought the offensive line actually came to play in that first half. And that to me took away the coach bump you were talking about, because I thought their defense was going to come out and be the aggressor and be out of control and jumping around. That never happened. Bills never gave them a chance to do that. We went right down their throat with that running game.
And that's the thing. I think Davis, the running back who filled in for
James Cook,
who was injured, I thought he had a great first half. I think that piggyback off him, he had maybe his best game as a Buffalo Bill is early. This game against the Jets, he broke it. He punished a couple of guys. He got through the holes. I agree. The first half offensive line did their job. The Bills kind of ran, and it opened up the passing play a little bit.
Absolutely. I think he's so good, too. The offensive line definitely did well there. But he's so good, too, because he's a different kind of back than James Cook.
Yes.
Like, he's kind of just put his foot and then go. And, like, he's more downhill than Cook is.
Right.
So I appreciated it more, probably. But it was definitely fun to see them actually running the ball right at the defense and get some yardage.
So did it feel like to you guys that we got away from that though in the second half? They kind of stopped running, kind of going to more pass offense, and then it seemed like the O-line was not pass blocking as well as they were run blocking.
Yeah,
because Josh had multiple times where he was running for his life back there.
I think the Jets made the adjustments in the second half for sure, because that run game was not as easy. And I thought they had a little bit more energy in that second half because they were putting Allen on the run, I thought. Yeah.
You would have loved it, Kyle. I know how much you like Davis.
So Davis, 2.0, 97 yards on the ground and 55 yards receiving. So he led the rushing and the receiving category.
Wait. I got to you probably missed it because you didn't see it. What the hell happened with that one amazing catch he had?
The one where he's waving.
Oh my God! With the ball, how many times did that ball get tipped?
Right.
It looked like a sideways kickoff. There was no spiral to it.
You know what?
It was unbelievable. He caught that ball. I watched it twice,
and then he juggled it.
He juggled it, and I'm like, oh my God! But watch that. Watch the replays of that throw. It's unlike anything Josh Allen has ever thrown in his life.
It sounds like he's got hands like Dudzik.
He's got hands. Oh my God! Did he have hands like Dudzik? I mean, literally, it was like throwing an actual brick. And somehow he was able to come down with it.
He did say that he mistimed his jump, and that's why it looked as wacky as it did.
It was wacky.
Another sponsor of the show is Dr. Dudzik, Chiropractic, and if you want to reach him, 716-634-6272. Davis, I would say, has got the Doug's hands of the game last night.
With that one throw. Absolutely.
And check him out at Doug'sAChiropractic.com. He's got 2 convenient locations, Harlem Road and Worley and Haircell. Thank you so much.
Doug's a chiropractic. Also, hands, you got to give it to Knox, who caught that bullet in the end zone. That could have gone through him. If his hands weren't there.
Hands, all these DBs and everybody that's all grabby. I was going to try to get it in when you were talking about handsies.
Oh, yeah.
So, all right.
He's a good one, too.
Save that one for Herb.
Yeah.
Love you, Herb. Love you.
I don't know. That was an ugly. I caught the end of it and then a lot of penalties, but
Was anyone else worried when we got the ball back and just needed to get a first down?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Terrified.
I was like, holy deja vu all over
Yeah, I was going
again.
to say, this
right,
is
Yogi
just like
Berra?
last time with more time.
Yeah. And then, I don't know if you saw the Manning cast. Sorry, Carl. I don't know if you saw the Manning cast, but Rex Ryan was on the fourth quarter.
oh, what did he say?
What Rex is, it's the third down, right? We have to get the first. And Rex goes, well, you both know who my favorite player in the league is. It's Josh Allen. Josh Allen needs to have the ball in his hands on this play. And then Peyton and Eli are like, yep, if I have Josh, or I am Josh, I want the ball. Better give him the ball. They snapped it. He runs it, and they're like, see, we're done here.
Yeah.
And that was Allen drawing that up in the dirt. That was not the original play call.
That was not. It was supposed to be a run. Yep.
In fact, you see, I think it was, I don't know if it was Davis or not in the backfield. It might have been Ty Johnson. He's kind of looking for the pitch, and he's just watching Allen go the other way, thinking like, yo, all the linemen are pulling in that direction. It was just Allen going, I'm going to just take this. I got the first down, yeah.
That's what you want,
Smart
right?
play.
The guy that,
I almost flirted because they ran it on first down and got 5 yards. I'm like, do you just do the tush push for 2 down and get a first down? Like, do you just do that? Because you're going to guarantee to probably get 4 more yards. And then all of a sudden you've won the game. Do you right there, 2nd down and 5, tush push, game over. I thought that might be a way they might go because they own that. They own that against the Jets. They did it a couple of times with success.
Hey, ADHD kicking in real quick. The most penalties in a single game ever was 2016 Raiders and the Buccaneers. 35 total penalties, and the Raiders set the record with 23 individually.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
that had to be
sense.
a fun game to
It's
watch.
a pirate game, Raiders and Buccaneers.
Was it like 7 hours long?
It doesn't say that was that either, but
I did not mind the official in this guy. Like
the quick reviews.
I didn't mind that at all. I do like that with the NFL. Just get it right. It does save times. Throwing the challenge flag. Nope. We made the call. Here's your challenge.
okay.
flag
So
back.
what do you think of that call?
I was fine with it. Everyone called it the right way.
Yeah.
It was a touchdown.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh no. Oh, I'm talking that tuck rule-ish play.
Yeah, that one was tough.
Yeah. If that was Allen and that happened to us, I thought we would be furious if they called that a fumble.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I think they probably got it right.
Right. I think the argument was to be made was no. He had time to release it. He was going to pull it down, but that you're trying to get into the quarterback's mind by then. You didn't really have a shot.
Yeah.
One thing we talked about before the podcast, I don't think we talked about it yet, was Josh Allen, no interceptions, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's 6 games in a row. I mean, that's like a record.
It's impressive.
Yeah.
It's got to be a record for him.
Did you hear what he said, though?
No.
He said they had asked him about that one, and he's like, no. I've thrown interceptions. They just haven't caught him.
I did hear that now, yeah.
Yeah, and it's accurate.
That's
It's
funny.
true, yeah.
A couple of them
Which
has
is
been-
humble, and
Yeah.
it makes
Yeah.
him realize that, hey, that was a pretty dumb ball to throw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I feel like he's made more crazy second-year Josh Allen plays and throws in the first 6 games this year than he has in the last couple of years just because of what he's trying to make up for. So I feel like this was the year for him to throw way more interceptions,
Right.
and somehow he hasn't.
yeah.
Which kudos to him.
I heard a fun fact. I should have brought this up during the Amari Cooper conversation. Do you know the date of Amari Cooper's birthday? What day it was?
March 18th.
I don't know if that's the right day. It was the O.J. Simpson car chase day.
Oh, no, June 14th.
June, yeah.
Yeah,
He was born that day.
that day.
Oh,
Wow,
Nice.
God, that's an omen.
Destiny.
That's an
June
omen.
Juice is
14th,
loose.
94.
Yeah, I heard that on the radio today. I thought that was a great stat.
I've always said we should do an O.J. Simpson podcast.
Oh my God.
Always gets rejected by the mainstay here.
I've never heard that. We should do that.
Where were you on the day of the chase?
School.
Yeah,
That was
pretty
for.
young.
I met the guy at the thing. By the way, at the Brighton Hall, the gentleman who was my art teacher 2 weeks ago, he was at the fire hall. I introduced him to my wife, and I said, honey, this is the gentleman who told us if we didn't get our art project done, we weren't going to listen to the end of the O.J. Simpson verdict. The verdict came down at 1 o'clock. I was in art class.
I was driving down Highway 3 in Fort Erie going up to Shirkston.
Whoa, we got to say this for our own individual podcast.
Sorry, I'm trying to find out with Josh Allen's rushing touchdown last night how far behind he is of catching Thurman Thomas. And it looks like he's 10 behind him, but I thought he was 10 behind him a while ago.
Doable.
I don't know.
Definitely
But I
doable.
thought they should have let Davis run one in there.
Oh,
I was like, I know
Yeah,
they're
I
going
did
to
too.
tush push this, but he pretty much did the whole drive.
Right.
And then you don't let him get it in. You give Josh a tush push.
Yeah, Josh said that he stole one from him.
Yeah, he definitely
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
But what I would say was a good sign on that is that they actually did the tush push and didn't worry about Josh's hand at all.
Right.
So I'm thinking that left
Very
hand
good.
is probably
Decoy?
got to be pretty
Healthy.
good to go.
Yeah.
He's faking it, Sart?
No, I don't
No.
think he is. I didn't even see if it was wrapped up. Or
I
not,
know it
but
was. Did you notice the glove was significantly smaller?
Yeah.
It's not that huge padded
I didn't
glove
even
anymore.
notice
Now
it,
it's more of
so,
like
yeah.
a baseball glove almost.
I noticed that he gave it to fans after the game.
Yeah, because it's not that huge.
Yeah.
The other one had armor on
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah. So he must be getting back in shape.
The
Then.
nice thing about the breakout game for Davis is now you don't have to rush Cook back.
Right.
Right.
I thought he filled in great. He's a different back. I don't think he quite gives you exactly what Cook's going to give you in terms of the the fly out, the pass plays. But I thought he had it. He was like, hey, it's your ball. Go for it. It was kind of a surprise to everyone that day, and he didn't wilt. He took it. They told his personal story. It was a great personal story about living in a homeless shelter. It's through and through. It's a great Buffalo story. Nothing but pride for that guy.
And
Very proud he had a good game.
I don't think it's crazy to think that he could be good either. I mean, that happens in the NFL all the time. There's always fourth-round running backs that come in. The guy from the Rams last year, his name escapes me.
Kyren
Williams. Just a guy who did really well in college, got his chance, and all of a sudden they're like a fantasy football running back number one. So it's not crazy to think that this guy could be, as a rookie, really good as a running back.
Well, and I think it's in Davis's DNA to do that. I mean, his whole life has been having to fight for everything, and here he is. I had this conversation last night. He's given the opportunity. He's going to literally run with it, So I have high hopes for him.
They showed a video real quickly at the end. I don't know if anybody caught it with his uncle, and I don't know that part of the story. If the uncle is the one that maybe helped raise him or whatever it may have been at some point, but he went right over to the uncle who was leaning over the edge,
Almost fell over.
Yeah, just hugging him and headbutting him, and I thought that was really cool. That was a good moment for them.
Let me do a little trivia with you fellas. Would you go... I have Curtis Samuel's stats up in front of me.
Okay. I didn't think he had a bad game.
Over for the season total right now on Curtis Samuel. Over under 10 receptions.
Under.
Yeah.
Wait, what he has
Well,
so far?
last week,
Yeah, what does he
Over.
have?
He's over.
last
He's over
week
10?
he had
I think he's under.
seven.
I
Did
think
he have
he's
seven
under.
last week.
7 catches?
Targets or
Yeah.
receptions?
Receptions.
I think he's under 10.
Okay. He has 12.
Okay. Because
And
I
he
thought he was at
has-
7 last
He
week.
has 92 yards.
Yeah, I knew he was under
6
100 yards.
games.
I think that'll change, though, now with Cooper being
Okay.
here.
He was noticeable.
Next-
His name was called a couple times.
Next guy.
Real quick before you go on, though, a lot of those passes he's getting are behind the line of
Yeah.
scrimmage, and,
Right.
and that's so he's getting them out in the flank. You know what I mean, and having a. You're not
Those,
gonna
don't,
do
those plays
well,
don't work.
no.
Those plays are not working.
They work if you have Garrett Wilson, who did it a few times last night. You
or
have
Gabe
to have
Davis out there blocking.
right, but you got to have a stud. And I mean, nothing against Samuel, but those plays can work. They did against us last
He
night.
should be a slot receiver. Put him across the middle like you used to do with
Beasley.
Yep.
Okay, next receiver, Kincaid, who technically is a tight end.
He's under 10 for sure.
Oh, okay, so receptions for Kincaid, over, under 15.
I say he's under.
I'd say he's under, yeah.
Just barely over.
Under.
I never go wrong with Denny. Denny's got to be over.
He has 21 total.
What?
That makes sense.
Catches?
I feel like he
Yeah.
hasn't been in the
I can
game.
see that.
Yeah.
Because I feel like he's got a lot of catches, but not a whole lot of yards.
And he
One-
catches everything.
They
One
throw him,
tu-
behind the yellow line.
One
of scrimmage.
tutty, and he's got a total of 217 yards.
And I think you're going to see that jump dramatically now that we have a
I
deep
agree.
threat.
We'll go to Keon Coleman.
What's the over under set at?
He's only got like 10.
Over, under 10.
I won't answer because I saw a stat yesterday
Okay. All right.
comparing him to Xavier Worthy.
Yeah, I would say he's probably right at 10 or 11, I would guess.
Okay.
Push.
So he's got 12,
Yeah.
and he's 201 yards. So he's almost where Kincaid is with half the receptions.
And he has 2 touchdowns. And his stat line is almost identical to Xavier Worthy.
He does have 2.
Worthy has a rushing
Dude, he's
touchdown.
got more touchdowns than Kincaid.
I mean, Coleman he's not doing bad for a rookie year. I think that people's expectations were too much for him. I think that he's having a regular rookie year for a second-round pick. You know, I mean, everybody wants him to be amazing. I mean, I do too, but I think he's doing just fine.
Yeah, if you can get him to like 600 yards, maybe 5 touchdowns, I think that's a real productive rookie year for the type of guy he is.
I think they were trying to make him a deep threat. I don't know if
he's not that guy. He's not. He's a middle of the field guy against backers.
A couple of those throws, Josh obviously can make it to him, but he's 60 yards. You lose sight of the ball. He's not a fast guy.
He's almost like a third tight end.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not fair. I mean, I'm sorry, that is fair. That's a fair assessment.
All right, last receiver to play the game. Khalil Shakir, over under 17 receptions.
Ooh, that's a tough one. I'm going over.
I'm going to say over 2 because he had one game that he had a whole bunch in one game, like 7 or 8 in one game.
All of them.
I think he's under due to the injury.
And he's thinking.
Okay.
How many games did he miss? 1 or 2?
I think he just missed one.
One.
He left in the Baltimore game early.
And
And he lost the Texans, yeah.
I'll say over.
He's got 20.
Ooh.
I think
249 yards, 2 touchdowns.
he had 7 or 8 catches in one game this year. I think it was the blowout game.
So what stats? So you said Keon and Worthy are similar stats?
Before last night, they both had 10 receptions. They both had roughly 200 yards, and they both had 2 receiving touchdowns. Worthy has 1 rushing touchdown on top of that. But
I would like to see Keon Coleman stats versus that Brian Thomas Jr. kid.
Oh, Brian Thomas has way more stats. His game this past week was
Who's he play for?
He played for the Jaguars.
Jacksonville, yeah.
Oh, dude, that's a dumpster fire there. How over under Doug Peterson gets fired like the next week?
Listen, I know he's your guy, but Gabe Davis, did anybody see the drop?
Yeah, 2.
The one that they showed, I've never seen a wide receiver position their hands like he did to try and catch. I played wide receiver in high school. That was embarrassing. And he's done that before where his hands completely cross.
yeah.
No receiver is ever taught to catch the ball that way.
Somebody tweeted that and just said Gabe Davis doing Gabe Davis.
Yeah, that's unreal. I mean, he had 2 TDs in that game, but he should have had more.
He would be better off trying to catch one-handed.
That's so weird. And they're blatant drops. Just blatant drops.
He doesn't want to be there, I think. I mean, I think that's
Would
screams
you?
the receiver. No,
No.
God. Well, they're paying my
Golly.
salary. I got to show up.
I mean,
No income
Peterson's
tax.
going to be gone soon.
They're
or what?
starting to sell. They sold their real good defense, traded their good defensive tackle. They're sellers.
and
They
that
know.
kills you when you start selling off
Right.
parts this early in the season. That kills
They're
you.
done.
for the whole year.
Who's the backup for Lawrence?
Mac Jones.
How long before he comes in?
Hopefully never.
Right.
Oh,
I still think you have to see.
fantasy.
No, Mac Jones, I can't stand watching him
Yeah.
quarterback a football
But
game.
I think Lawrence is a decent quarterback. I do. I just don't know.
Wrong situation.
Yeah, and, it's no different than Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
look,
dude.
put Lawrence on the 49ers. Put Lawrence
Yeah.
on even Minnesota.
Yeah.
You've got a whole different outlook.
You know
what?
where they should send Lawrence?
I want to push back on that a little bit.
Cleveland.
No,
I don't know. That's,
But listen,
Deshaun Watson.
he has an offensive head coach. He's got weapons all around him. And for 2.5 years, besides that playoff run, he hasn't done shit. He might not be
All right.
that good.
Yeah, well,
Maybe
he's
it's all
paid
the
like
trips across the pond.
that could
Well,
be a great Gatorade.
He's going back.
You commenting, and then
already
he's just doing 200-300 pounds on the dump.
I mean, I don't know.
Saw Bills on
You
a
know,
Gatorade ad.
He's got weapons. He's had
Johnson.
receivers. So,
yeah.
I don't know.
Is anybody frustrated? I guess I'm waiting for, when we went through these guys' stats for the receivers, it's kind of lame. I'm waiting for him to go out and start slinging a ball and get 400 yards in a game. When's the last time he had a 400-yard game?
It's been a while.
Hasn't been this season for sure, right?
Definitely not.
But
It's probably been 2
with
seasons, I
the
think.
slinging the ball in the 400-yard games comes the turnovers because now
Right.
you're pushing things. And if we're winning, I don't care about any of that.
Right.
The last 2 games, the last 2 losses, especially the Baltimore game, I would have liked to have seen a lot more. But I'll take the wins. I don't care about any other stat.
No, I guess I'm looking for more exciting football to watch.
This is the Allen that McDermott wants, and I think he's wanted this.
Game
Allen for a
manager
couple
Allen?
years. No, I wouldn't call him a game manager, but I think he wants Allen within the hash marks. I don't think he wants going wild Josh Allen.
Well, listen,
because then the interceptions happen. And where has that gotten him over the last couple of years? You know,
Dude, you're right about every time I see him go towards the sideline, and who was talking last night? Berman or
Troy Aikman?
Yeah, about how it's
Buck.
amazing how he's like almost out of bounds and he's slinging the ball 50
He's done
yards
that
downfield.
multiple times.
On the Manning
I can't
cast,
watch
Peyton
it anymore.
Manning,
Yeah, I was
Peyton
just-
Manning was like,
I was just
talking
gonna
about,
say that, yep.
Get rid of it, get rid of it,
Yeah,
get rid of
throw
it.
it away,
and he
throw it
throws
away,
past
throw it
the
away.
pass to
Yeah,
Ray Davis.
yep.
Yeah.
Oh, was that when Belichick was on?
I think so.
Yeah, but Manning was just throw it away. Or don't do that.
Kyle, to piggyback off this one, over under, and this is for anyone, over under.
Oh, I like trivia.
400 yards for Diggs. Are you taking it over under?
Hold on, say that one more time. Total
Stephon
yards.
Diggs, 24 regular season stats, over under 400 yards.
I think he's
I'm going to say
under.
I'm saying he's got more than 400.
I think he's like 360. I want to say.
Mike,
I'm going to go under.
I think he's way over.
over or under?
Over.
He had a pretty big game this weekend. I would say he's probably under, though.
Okay.
So many other weapons on that team.
He's under. He's under. So he's only about
By
100
what?
yards, 392.
Oh, okay.
He's only right. So everyone was really close.
Yeah.
So he's only about 100 yards off of the
Our
bulk
top
of our
guy.
receivers. How about this? Diggs over under for touchdowns. We'll say 4.
I think he's probably
I
got
think
he's got
four.
5.
Over because he had 2 in one game.
He
I
just
think.
got one yellow
5.
this week. Didn't
He did get his first rushing touchdown of his career too.
Yeah, he's got 3.
And does that include the rushing one?
Probably does not, but it might. I mean, he had 2, I think, the first game.
Shit.
And then that's pretty much all
Just
he's
say
had.
4.5.
So yeah, I mean, right. So I mean, we're not, even though we're beating on our guys, you know, they are holding true to quantity over quality. But they're not that far off from Diggs. Diggs is what, 100 yards, maybe more. How much does that really get you divided by 6 games?
If you throw off the Baltimore game, I think when you look at the other 5 games, it's about where the NFL has been and what offenses are doing, to be honest with you. So I don't know how far off pace they are.
Who is the most dominating offense consistently right now? The Ravens?
Yes.
For sure.
It's fair.
They stay healthy, they're going to be a problem. If they stay healthy.
And then who would you put second?
The Bengals were averaging, I know as bad as they are, they've
Dude,
averaged like
fucking
35 points a game
Tampa
for a while
whooped
there.
on New Orleans
Yeah,
yesterday. I'm looking at it.
51 to 27. I
Hey,
think.
your favorite burger.
Yeah, there you go. It's pretty good. I thought of that the other day too.
Mike, you are right. A win is a win. A win's a win. So no matter how you do it, but I guess for entertainment value.
We've had these conversations about different subjects, coaches, whatever. Would you rather have entertaining football games, or we'll be methodical for the rest of the year, but we win the Super Bowl?
Ooh.
It always ends with the Super Bowl.
He's
Yeah,
there,
absolutely.
there, he said it.
You could. I'll watch paint
Super
dry
Bowl.
for a Super Bowl.
Yep.
Yeah. Would you say paint dry?
I will watch paint dry. If you said 3 hours devote to watching paints for 18 week, watch paint dry, I would do that for a ring.
Yep.
Let's play that game.
Yes.
What
That is
would
torturous.
you be willing to do
All right.
to get a Super Bowl?
Just
I'd
don't
be
ask
willing.
Herb.
I'd be willing. I'd be willing
Dirty
to
things for the
lose
Super Bowl.
an arm or a leg if the Bills won a Super Bowl. I would live the
serious?
rest of my life without a limb.
No way.
I just said
you get
that.
to pick which one.
Chris,
Yes, left arm.
wow,
I'd give my left arm. I would live the rest of my life without it.
Holy shit.
I would
Anybody
go,
else?
I would go.
Come on.
did you like The Walking Dead? Did you like the comic book series? or
I'm
the
just.
show?
I'm throwing it out there. That's how much I'd give up to win. What are you like? What are we talking about? Like giving up meat for a month here or what? Like a Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Not lunch.
I would 100% give up a leg before an arm, though.
Yeah.
I think like a prosthetic leg is much
More doable.
better than
Okay. Well, you didn't give me enough time to think about it.
I did
I
not
could
see
get rid
this
of my
go
left
this
arm.
I
way.
went from paint
My
dry
left arm. Left arm. My right.
Well, that's
Oh yeah, right. I gotta be able to write.
Let's settle down. Settle down here.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Go to the extreme here. What would you be willing to give up? Maybe
Well-
it's a marriage. I don't know.
Can I give up my first marriage? Does that count?
No. It's not retroactive.
Oh man,
Since we're going to go extreme, I'd give up bourbon.
Okay. For the rest of your life,
Hey, if we get a ring,
never another
I'll
another
find it.
step. I think that's important.
I'll find a different alcohol.
Just bourbon
Something
or
that's important to us.
Oh, no, I said bourbon.
sobriety?
I said bourbon. That's all I said.
I feel like after watching Bills football through the drought, especially, but for the last, I'm 43. For the last 43 years, I think that it's owed. I mean, at this point, like I think we have to, get the bill.
I like where you're going here with this. We're owed it. It's like reparations, basically.
Absolutely.
Oh,
You're
man.
supposed to be
Oh,
getting
God.
that.
Oh boy.
Us social studies teachers are going to bow right out of this conversation.
I'll go. Yeah, I'll do a fellow socialist. I'll go. I'm not going to lose an arm or a leg. I'd lose a testicle. I'm done fathering kids. I'm finished.
But that's not that big of a deal,
I
then.
don't care. I'll get something. That's better than paint drying. That's not reparations. That's
Sean,
something.
that's not good enough.
I'm not. I'll give you one. I'll give you one.
Why not both?
Yeah, right.
Nope.
Now we're talking.
There'll be no
See,
podcast.
Sean's doesn't count as much because he's not as championship starved as the rest of
No,
us.
Right.
true.
He's like,
I got
I'll
mine
throw in
for
a
free.
testicle for you
I
guys.
got mine.
Like,
I got
come
a lot
on.
of Boston hate, but I got mine for free. It didn't cost me a limb.
He doesn't have the urgency. I'm willing
No, I
to give
don't.
a body part for this.
Yeah.
Like a real.
Testicle's a body part.
I mean,
Come on.
It's an internal organ. Doesn't count.
yeah. Plus, it's how old are you?
You can get a
Too
fake
old.
testicle.
It's like a used car at this
Check.
point, right? No.
Checks ZaBill's bingo card for testicle.
Yeah. Right, there you go.
Wow.
Kyle, what are you giving up to win a Super Bowl? You're never going to see it again. You're never going to have it again.
I got it,
But you're
Kyle.
guaranteed to have a Super Bowl.
I got it. Your hair.
Your beard. That's a good one.
I don't think
You
I've ever
can
seen
never
it.
again
Maybe
grow a
one
beard.
time.
Yeah.
I'm contemplating what appendage I would get rid of.
You're just very upset you didn't do testicle like me.
Well, I can't. I need to be able to drive. Oh man, for work, I wouldn't be able to work.
You need your testicle to work?
Guess it depends what you
Don't
do.
quit your day job.
It got quiet really quick. Yeah.
Man,
Alicia's probably upstairs going,
I mean, would you give up your job?
She's
You-
not
you're
home.
gonna be
Oh,
on
fuck yeah.
you're gonna be on
Oh.
unemployment for the rest of your
Yes.
life, but you're guaranteed a Super Bowl.
Oh,
dude, those people have it
100%.
made.
Dennis says 100%.
Not even a thought.
No.
Sign me up.
Yep.
Oh my god,
Just get
live
those
off- live off
$200
the government
checks from
for
the
a Super
states,
Bowl?
but we got a Super Bowl, and you can just sit there on the couch watching reruns of the Super
And I'm
Bowl.
going to buy my Super Bowl champion shirt with that
Yes.
fucking money.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now we're getting somewhere.
I'm trying to think. What would be harder to give up? A leg or easier to give up?
Well,
What did you give up, Chris? A leg?
I gave up. I
gave up
lost
the arm.
my left arm.
Left arm.
I would survive the rest of my life without my arm if we had a Super Bowl.
I'd do the
still
leg.
play catch with my kids.
I chose the leg.
Of course.
What?
I'd still play catch one-handed with my kids. So yeah,
It's ridiculous, but it's so
I'd do it in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat.
You've thought that through. You've
It just came to me.
contemplated this.
No, it just came to me. That's how starved we are.
And he's
That's,
sober, ladies and gentlemen. I'm
that's how
looking at
much
the bottle of water
I
in
don't
front
think
of
it's
him.
that, I don't think it's that crazy. We won a Super Bowl.
I
For
mean,
you
there's
seven
worse
people,
things.
for you 7 people that listen regularly, email or text some of us if you know us personally, and tell us what appendage you would remove for a Super Bowl.
Doesn't even have to be an appendage.
Put in the
can't be a-
comments on the
can't be a
Facebook page.
testicle.
What
Yeah,
would you do for a
comments.
Or an
Super Bowl?
ovary.
Let's get the Facebook
Right,
comment.
that's how the question. What would you
Yeah.
do? Like, what would be the extreme thing you would do to get a Super Bowl if you're guaranteed to have it?
We got to ask
Okay, hold
every
on,
guest
hold on.
that.
Hold on. Let's take it. A step
I
further.
agree. Del Reed.
Let's take it a step
I don't
further.
know.
how can we go
Would
further
you-
than that?
What about giving up your sight, your ability to speak, or being able to hear?
That's too much.
I want to remind everybody that we're talking about a sport.
Right. Now you got to have a little quality of life too.
I could give up hearing.
We're
I think.
talking about a Buffalo
I
championship.
don't think I need to hear.
Okay.
I'm halfway
What do you
deaf
need to hear
now,
for
so
anyway?
it doesn't.
Yeah.
I guess I could do that.
Yeah, you
As
could
long
still
as you
Well,
can
you'd have to
see.
listen to the pod.
Yeah.
Although I guess
There's
you could
closed
get some-
captioning.
yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
That's true.
I watch closed captioning now anyway.
Yeah.
I will take it to the extreme. I would root for the Bruins.
Yes.
The Bills want to.
Yes.
Half that. I cut off both my arms.
Bring up the Bruins.
And a leg. Half that. Not happening.
You're the-
Never.
Okay, hold on.
Wait, what? Monty Python and the Holy Grail? You're the Black Knight right there.
Oh, the Knights of
You
Me.
are the Black Knight.
It's just a flesh wound. Johnson, do you hate any other franchises as much as you hate the Bruins? Are they the most hated, or Patriots, or all Boston
I find
sports?
that hard to believe.
Well, the Patriots, I don't hate as much anymore. I certainly did when they're in their championship run. The Bruins have been pissing all of us off for what seems like 25, 30, 40 years.
Well, that's how long you've been rebuilding for.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
He's not wrong. For me, it's the Leafs. 100% the Leafs.
See, I don't mind the Leafs. I grew up watching them. I don't mind them.
For me, it's the Dolphins.
I love
hockey in
Toronto.
Canada.
We beat the
Dolphins
shit out
grew
of
up in
Yeah.
Dan
We
Marino
beat the-
era.
Yeah. Bruins definitely, though. I can't stand playing them. That might just be a Marchand thing, actually.
For the record, I have not brought up that team the entire podcast season. Not one time. You can go back and listen to it.
What team?
The Bruins. Not one time have I.
Oh
brought
my
them
God!
up.
This is the first time you're not wearing Bruin stuff.
You know, I was
too.
just going to bring that up. I was going to say,
Nice try,
I sit
gentlemen.
across from you.
You fucking douche.
I was going to say, wow.
Put
we
your
almost
underwear
had it.
back on.
Almost had it.
You know what franchise I absolutely cannot I cannot stand is the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah,
I do not like them at all.
Yeah,
And I don't know what it is.
Boredom watching them
Well, yeah.
they, you know, I hate to bring this up, but they're kind of like the Boston Bruins. In the
Oh,
NFL.
here we go.
Always good.
play. I would agree with that. They're
Always
consistent.
consistent.
Yeah.
Same colors.
Championships to
Yeah,
back
same
it up.
colors.
They're like
same
a
colors.
they're like a glove. You wipe your ass with them.
Yeah,
Put them in your
yeah,
pocket.
Just jealousy speaking. But yeah, I mean they're pretty good. Even when they're bad, they're still find a way to be good. They've had 3 coaches in 70 years. That's it. I mean, they just
And-
kind of have that unique luck to them.
Tomlin's never had a losing season.
That's unbelievable.
Yep.
Ever?
That is unbelievable.
All the years he's coached. In fact, was it last year or the year before? They had to win the last game to be
Yeah.
1 over 500.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they've had 3 coaches.
I think he had one that was even. He was 8-8 back when it
But
was
not
only 16
losing,
games.
though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
in 50 plus years. It's unbelievable.
Yep.
I mean, the Sabres went through 3 coaches in 18 months.
Right. Well,
50 years. That was for you, Chris. 50 years. I mean,
No,
that
Johnson,
is
I don't like the Bruins either.
unbelievable.
Because growing up in the Saratoga area, we got a lot of Bruins hockey on TV for some reason. And that was back when Adam Oates and Cam Neely and
Excellent players.
Ray Bork and those fucking guys, Moog.
Just in case you're wondering,
I'm not.
the one player who's
I'm
got
not.
the most points against
Still
the
no.
Buffalo Sabres, Ray Bork.
All right, well, good
He's
for him.
got those statistics.
I
No
mean,
player
I
scored
don't have
more
a lot
against
to
the
go
Sabres.
on here, but I mean, I'm just going to say Mayday. I mean, all
I
day.
know. I remember that vividly where I was at grandmother's family room watching that game 4.
Do you remember what you had for dinner that night?
I don't remember. It was probably pizza.
From Big John's or
Big
whatever?
John's, maybe. I have no idea. But yeah, no, that was a great but here's the thing. For that to be your highlight still.
Yep.
A first round
I
win,
agree. Yep.
that tells you all you need to know about this franchise.
It does. It does. I said I didn't have a lot to go on, but
It's an ugly goal. I mean, it looks
Oh, it's
Brad Hay
terrible,
looks
yeah.
amazing. And
I mean, he
yeah.
scored like 9 goals his whole career.
I know.
Right? So I mean,
but that goal, that was full value. If he had to pick one goal, it might as
Yeah.
well have been the overtime winner. 6-5.
Shout out to Rob Ray making the Sabres Hall of Fame finally.
yeah, it's pretty nice.
I thought when I saw it the first time, he made the NHL Hall of Fame. I'm like, wow, Rob Ray.
how is he in a McGillney's not?
Whoa! I'm like, that's it. It was almost 2 replays. You know, he's kind of crying a little bit. I'm like, I'd be crying too. But yeah, it was Sabres Hall.
It's
of Fame.
safe to talk about hockey now because we're an hour and 2 minutes in. I'm sure Corey already turned
Corey
it off.
checked off.
So we can talk about hockey.
Sorry, Corey. Good. Congratulations, Rob Ray. I had friends that were his tenant. He was the owner of the apartment complexes where they stayed. They moved from Colorado to Buffalo. Rob Ray was their tenant. I'm like, make sure you just pay the man.
Yeah.
Just pay that man. Make sure whatever. Don't be late. It's Rob freaking Ray. Watch his highlights.
He's got hands like sledgehammers.
Not
I met
like
him at yeah. You don't want those hands rubbing on you.
No.
I met him one night at what was it? What was after Gander Mountain? Down the street.
Yeah. Another
The
place.
Blue
Camping
one.
World?
The
Camping
Blue
World?
logo.
Wasn't it Gander Outdoors?
Yeah, that's
After
it.
Gander Mountain?
So I was in there one night when they were closing. They were doing all the closeouts, and I was walking down the aisle, and there he was. I went, oh shit, it's Rob Ray. So I went over and said, "Hey, Rob, how you doing?" Shook his hand, dude. Fucking bear paws. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Not a big, tall man.
No,
Thick.
he's
I mean, that dude.
he's
you
got
know.
some. He's broad.
His
He's
head's
broad.
huge. His shoulders are huge. He just,
Big
he's huge.
hands.
Yeah, I see him at
Yeah.
the rink all the time.
I believe he was a first round draft pick. I'd have to check that, but he went high in 91.
Yeah, you might be right about that.
He scored a goal on his first
First
shift.
shift, yeah.
And then he scored like 3 more.
I know.
He scored in
career.
Dominic Hasek's first NHL game, I believe it was.
Yeah.
When he played for the Blackhawks, he scored on him for the Sabres.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
All right, picks for next week. We kind of hit every detail, and
we haven't
Johnson's
talked
giving
about
away a
next
leg.
week.
I think it's going to be fast.
What's that, Brendan?
I said, yeah, we haven't talked about next week at all.
No, I'm still thinking about what I'm going to cut off. Hey, are you doing okay? So hold on one more time, Chris. You're getting rid of a leg or an arm?
I said I would give away my left arm. I'm going to need both my legs to push off when I'm golfing one-handed.
Okay, so let me ask you the strategy. Let me ask you
What
this:
he's been thinking.
are we talking about like cut at the wrist, cut at the elbow, or
I'd
cut
go,
at the
I'd
shoulder?
go right to the shoulder.
Full.
Wow.
To win a Super Bowl.
Wow.
To have the championship. Yep.
Buffalo
No,
Bills.
no questions asked.
If you're listening, we got a guy who will cut off his fucking arm for you.
We're not going to do it like for pay-per-view. You've got to win the Super Bowl first.
Or are we?
I'm not doing it If they win the Super Bowl. I'm saying that if it was a guarantee, I would do it.
Okay.
Like not
Like
the guy
today.
that's like
So if there was like a genie
You got to have a
and he
sauna in your
said,
garage,
you win the
right?
Super Bowl if
we
you
can
do
lock
this,
it in.
do
I'm
it
like,
right
all
now.
Let's go. Sign me up.
Am I a pussy if I said I'd cut it off at the elbow?
I don't see what the point is though.
I think
Why
it's a
there?
little weirder at the elbow.
That's
than
why I
actually
thought
at
you
the
had to
shoulder.
go.
Yeah, but then I could like attach a hook.
No, he wants the G.I. Joe arm completely removed.
I just want to remind you all that the Def Leppard drummer is still playing in
Right.
concert.
So
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Why he's got one arm?
Yeah, he lost an arm in a car accident
yeah.
Yeah.
20, 30 years ago.
It was a bus accident.
It's too old.
Oh, yeah, you're right. No, he was in his Corvette.
Oh, that's
Yep.
right.
Oh, right. And he, what was it? Something with the seatbelt. He was halfway in the seatbelt, or his arm got caught in the seatbelt. He got ejected, and the arm stayed in the car.
Yep.
So,
Not good.
hey, dude, that's a trivia. If you attend trivia, you might see that question again.
Dude, I understand, but it's either that or ZaBills.
Okay,
So
Picks.
Tennessee Titans.
prize picks.
1 o'clock game, thank God.
1 and 4 Titans.
Surprisingly good defense for the
who?
Titans.
Really?
Yeah, I noticed that too. They have good. What's his name? Snead, I think.
Yep. Simmons is there up front. They loaded up actually. I think in the offseason. But
All right, so
They said that they had given up the second fewest yards per game only to the Jets.
yeah.
looks like the Bills are 8.5-point favorites.
Yeah, biggest line of the week.
Probably their biggest
Over
being
under,
favored. Yeah, that they will have all season.
over
So
under
it's like,
41.5 points.
biggest spread. That's what I was trying to say.
No. They still have the Patriots twice.
Probably.
See,
Titans are supposed to be the worst team.
division game. Yeah.
They're supposed to be the worst team in the league.
Well, they both only have 1 win right now, right?
Holy shit, dude! Their quarterback Levis
Yeah, he's
Levi's
terrible.
They just
Well,
drafted him
he's
this year.
Comedically terrible.
83 and 125, only 600 yards total, 7 interceptions, 5 touchdowns.
It's not even functioning as a quarterback. Bad.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know if you remember in the draft, he was getting pissed because he kept dropping.
So-
it was like watching draft day.
So what you're saying is, if I had a hockey game Sunday, I should probably go to that instead of watching this football game.
I would say
Yeah.
you need to talk to your coach about
Stop.
scheduling
You're
those
right.
games.
I agree
during
with
those
that too.
games.
It's
Yeah.
Poor manager.
I won't be able to watch.
That's 2 in a row.
It is.
We have a game.
What's
It's at
the
noon
deal?
though.
I don't know. We're playing Southtowns 13U.
Okay.
Wait, I have a
Hey,
game,
how's
too.
that rank over at Weiss Street? Is that where you play?
That's our home rink. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
is it
West
nice?
Seneca?
It's okay. It's
You got
old.
a pizza vending machine in there?
I don't know,
DJ?
they have a snack stand. I don't know if there's pizza there. I don't think so.
DJ in the house?
They have beer though. No DJ.
Yeah. We play 1040 at Nichols.
Yeah, I'm at
So
noon.
we'll
I'm at
be
noon that
ready to
day.
go.
Where are you at?
North Town Center, I believe.
Huh.
I'll be out of there by the end of the first period.
I'm going to miss the game.
Why? What are you doing?
Oh.
Driving to Allegheny.
Oh.
Well, you can listen to it.
Listen, we rough it. We bring a big screen projector and a satellite dish, but it won't be set up in time.
Darn it.
We really do.
I thought you were telling me you're going to the doctor to get your
Testicle removed?
Your test.
We need a guarantee.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so 8.5-point favorites, 41.5 points. Dennis? Hold on. ESPN matchup predictor. I don't know what their accuracy is. I wish I would show it. They're picking the Bills 71.4% to win this game.
Sounds low.
They do Madden 24. They just play 100 times.
Is that what it is? They matched up 100 times and the Bills won 71.4% of the time?
Sure.
Is this fact or are you just guessing?
Just guessing.
Okay.
Sounds really good.
It does.
You had me sold.
It does. Highmark Stadium, 60 degrees, partly cloudy.
It's going to be a nice weekend.
Yeah, it's
Warm.
supposed to warm up.
Is everybody going to go apple picking or pumpkin patching?
No.
Done and done.
Yeah, those days are long over.
I do need to get some pumpkins, but
Yeah.
I'll just buy them from Wegmans.
I buy them on the way home from Allegheny every year.
Yeah.
Yep, on the roadside stands in Alcatraz, and yep,
It's probably cheap that way.
it is. Yep, but they're always decent.
Yeah.
Anybody got any haunted hayride scheduled coming up? No?
I'm going to Lockport.
You're going to go to that one?
Probably.
Well, let me know when you want to go.
Okay.
I want to do it.
I thought you just meant you're going to Lockport because it's scary.
It's scary enough.
They apparently have a house that could rival mine, so I'm like,
I
Oh,
share-
that's the
shared
one
to
you
you.
sent to me. Okay.
Yeah, if anybody's out there has heard of Creepy Crosby Ave. Do you know where Crosby Ave is?
I looked it up on the map when you sent it to me.
Is it familiar to where you
I didn't really
hang
go
out?
in that area.
Is it sketch?
I don't know.
Okay, fair enough. You don't want to.
There's a bar in that area that is pretty rough.
You should pack when you go in there.
I don't know. It wouldn't hurt you.
Holy shit!
Someone's falling down the stairs.
Hey. Okay.
Your slide was in the middle of the door, so I almost fell.
My what?
Your slide almost killed me.
Slides, sandals.
Yes.
Oh, your flip flop.
Oh,
When I was going to open the door, it wouldn't move, and I almost fell downstairs.
I almost fell down the stairs because your hockey bag.
I put it there.
This feels like
That's my
Hamlet.
fault.
all over again.
Everything's my fault.
It's just like Hamlet.
Trying to take us all out.
Can you stop making so much noise? We're on a podcast. Okay, Dennis.
So I think that we'll definitely beat the Titans. They do have a good defense, but I think it's going to be like 27-10. Their offense is terrible. Tennessee.
Guaranteeing this one?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Testicle guarantee?
I
Or?
was going to say.
I don't know about that.
I mean,
I think that if we lose this game, we're back to being concerned about the season. So this is supposed to be one of those games that's just, hey, this is one of the easier games on our schedule. Don't look past it, but I think that they're not the type of team that's going to look past anybody. So I think that they've finally gotten healthy on defense, as healthy as they're pretty much going to get. And they're going to be able to – the Titans' offense is not going to be able to do anything against us, even as young as our defense is. Our offense may struggle a little bit, which they have been the last couple of weeks anyway, but I would almost guess the defense is going to score for us here. That's how bad this offense is.
Is it possible that Cooper will play?
Yes.
Yeah, he'll be in. They're probably going to have a limited role just
Pitch
because
count,
of the playbook. He's going to. They'll probably have him cram, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 plays just so he knows, and then they'll insert him here and there. He's not going to be out there every snap for sure.
You got to think that you've played on 2 or 3 NFL teams that I'm assuming plays are similar, verbiage is similar. Like it shouldn't be that hard to.
I mean, the basic plays.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying they'll have it that
Yeah. Okay.
We're not that creative, that's for sure. So
Do you think the Bills improved on their predictability with their packages, or is it the same shit? Jumbo comes in, up, running play.
I don't know. They had meat
yeah, they
a
looked,
little bit.
They looked pretty good. I mean, they weren't so bad.
Did they bring back more pre-snap motion?
It was a lot of single motion again.
Yeah, I did
the
not
first 3
notice a
games of
lot.
the year, they had multiple guys in motion, and then they would stop in time, and then one would go. I haven't seen any of that in 3 weeks.
Okay.
But anyway, I think the Bills will win pretty handedly. So I think it's going to be like 28-9 Titans.
he had me sold. I actually wasn't paying attention. And then I'm like, oh, he said Titans. I love it. It's fantastic.
Okay. All right, Michael.
I'm going to go back to my last year prediction, and we're going to put up 31. And I'm going to give him a little more credit. I'm going to give him 13. So 31-13.
Oh, okay. All right. What do you want?
Oh, I was just curious on who we play. I forgot.
Titans. Okay. Mr. Johnson.
I think that the Titans defense makes it a little bit of a slog early on for Allen. This is Allen's turnover game. I feel like we look at it and say, bro, what are you doing? But I just don't think the offense. I don't think the Titans offense is able to keep up at all with the Bills. So I think we'll look back on it and say, man, that game should have been a lot worse. Bills 27, Titans 6.
Are you predicting a Josh Allen interception or a fumble?
I first quarter, second quarter, I see us kind of going into the half saying, man, we should be killing this team, and we're not right now. And, that's just – and then eventually Allen and the offense heats up and just pulls away.
Okay.
I don't think the game plan gets any simpler for Sean McDermott. Find a way to get me 18 points. In 4 of the 5 games Tennessee's played, they have scored 17 or less. 3 have been 17. 1 was 14. The only game they actually won, they scored 31. Find me a way. I think they're more of the 17 and under team. Find me a way to get 18, 21 points, and you're almost guaranteed 90% or possibly one testicle a win. That would be the formula. That would be draw it up any way you want to. Get me over 17, and I'm going to win this game.
They lost to the Bears 24-17.
Yep.
Lost to the Jets 24-17.
Yep.
Lost to the Packers 30-14. Beat the Dolphins 31-12. Lost to the Colts 20-17.
Yeah. So get me to 18 any way, shape, or form, and you're almost guaranteed to win.
All right.
Kyle, you're up.
Yeah. Bills will win. I agree with Johnson. Probably they'll play down to their opponent's level, and I'm going to say like 24-17. And hopefully they score 40, and they only let in 3.
Right.
I do agree that the defense scores in this game. I think there's a defensive score.
Who? Hamlin?
Rasul Douglas. Yeah.
Oh, we didn't even get to talk about Hamlin. I was waiting for you to ask me about him.
He did have a tackle where his helmet came off.
I was going to say I think that he did not play well. I think that he's still slow and he still sucks. But I will give him credit that he's not afraid to put a hit on somebody.
Yeah.
Like he has given some hard hits or at least taken some hard hits, and he keeps going back in there. So I'll give him kudos on that. And Rodgers won his jersey.
That's true, yeah.
saw that.
I heard about that, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Hamlin doesn't have a guardian on, despite it's a heart deal and not a head thing, but I'm surprised. You think more guys are going to start wearing those?
If it's going to prolong their career, put more money in their bank account, they'd be stupid not to.
I'm surprised they haven't, to be honest, because only a handful of guys have worn them.
They're usually guys that have concussion issues. Like Rapp wasn't wearing one before his concussion last week.
Tua come back with one?
He better.
If he comes back?
I would not let him on the field without it. I'd be like, that's first thing on the list of shit you got to accomplish before you even see a football field. You are an investment.
I don't even think that's going to help him.
Do you think Kincaid should give him one of his cue guards?
Yeah, I think the damage is done for him.
Yeah.
But you got to make it look pretty. You can't just...
Right. No, I think he'll probably have to. There was interesting language used by McDaniel who said he's coming off IR soon, I think. But his plan is for him to play at some point in 2024. Yeah. So what I read into that was maybe second half of the season, maybe.
Why bother?
Right, that'll depend on where they're at. If they start, I don't even know who they played this week, but if they start piling up some losses with those backup quarterbacks, what's the point?
I can't even believe he would consider coming back after all this shit. Why?
Steve Tasker said that these guys with the concussions, you feel fine.
Right.
Within a lot, not always, but a lot of times you feel fine and don't realize the ticking time bomb that's in your brain.
But it's not like it's not known that once you have like 4 to 6 concussions that you're not going to get one the next time your head just bounces off the turf.
No, there's no guarantee, but go to the veterans, go to the alumni, and talk to those guys that Lou Gehrig's disease and guys that you have no memory. Daryl Talley with depression issues. There's a million of those guys now.
Junior Seau,
right? Junior Seau, right? Even the guys that have gone further. Who was the guy from Pittsburgh? The Jason Strelzik or whatever the lineman was that killed himself on the thruway. CTE guy. Anyone remember that when he got in his car and drove the wrong way?
Yep.
Oh yeah, I don't remember his name.
He was a Buffalo guy too. I think he was from like Chautauqua County or something like that. Jason Strelzik, I want to say.
Yeah.
Anywho, but same thing.
Ago.
Yep. Same thing though.
Dolphins have the Colts and the Cardinals before they play Buffalo at home November 3rd. I don't see
1 and 2 there. Maybe
I don't see them bringing him before the Bills. So and then they got a kind of a tough schedule. I mean, the Rams, the Raiders, the Patriots, no big deal. But then the Packers, the Jets, the Texans, the 49ers.
I mean,
those aren't scrubs.
Let's be honest. Dolphins are 1 and 3.
Yeah.
Why even risk that kid coming back?
So they've already used their bye. They have no more bye week.
What is the record? Do they have 2 wins?
1 and 3, I think.
Oh. Hey, what are the chances that Mason Rudolph is going to be starting against the Bills at quarterback?
Well, hopefully good.
Because apparently Mason Rudolph came in to lead the Titans against the Dolphins.
Yeah, because Levis got hurt. I forgot what was wrong with him.
Never mind. So he'll be back.
Yeah, they brought him back in.
Yeah, Levis played the other day.
They do have 2 wins.
Yeah, I thought they were 2 and 3, so they're still kind of there.
Yeah,
Who is?
Dolphins?
Yeah, but one of their wins is already against the Patriots.
Yeah.
And they beat the Jaguars. So, I mean, the bottom feeders,
Yep,
they've
sorry.
already used their...
They're not winning much with
Wrong
their
page.
Right.
2 and 3.
Snoop Huntley.
Yeah.
But I wonder too, does Tua, even if he wants to come back, like request like, hey, could I not come back against the Bills? Like every time I play them, I get concussed.
twice.
Right.
Right.
If I got to see his fingers again like that, I'm going to throw something and break the TV. I'll
thought you
be
were gonna
pissed
say
at the
throw him
world. That too. I mean, but if I've got to see that guy get concussed again and watch that Edward Scissorhand type thing go on live TV, I'm going to lose my freaking mind. I am going to lose my mind. It's just a terrible look for a league, an 11, 12, $13 billion league to have that happen.
It's all about money.
I understand. I understand. But you know what? If it's all about money, then he doesn't play the rest of the season. Then you protect your asset. Because if it's
I
all
agree.
about money,
Yeah.
then that's what it's all about. Then I'm the owner. I've got no rush to get this guy in the field. Give me the compassion award of the year. That's fine. Let this guy sit a full year. I don't care if he's healthy. I don't care if every doctor tells me he's healthy. I'm the owner. I'm paying his salary.
Could sit
He's not
out.
going
He
back.
could sit out the rest of the season, and he could be the NFL Comeback Player of the Year next year.
Great. That would actually be somewhat inspirational, as long as the Bills win a Super Bowl.
And Johnson cuts off his
Yeah.
eye. And you're one nut, Sean.
I'll be fine with that. Pray for a cup and a Bills championship every night.
You won't need a cup.
I got one healthy one left. It'll be fine.
We'll call him Sean Armstrong.
There it is.
Oh shit!
Yes. Minus the whole doping and
The
stuff.
juice.
Yes.
Yeah,
I gotcha.
Whatever.
Yeah, I just want to put that out there. No doping in this guy.
All right, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in again. I appreciate all 7 of you. And go Bills.
Go Bills.
Go Bills.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
ZaBillsPodcast is a presentation of Kmart Productions, sponsored by MJB Electric and Dudza Chiropractic. Thank you for listening, and if you haven't, please follow, rate, review the show. It helps with the algorithm. ZaBills is executively produced by me, Kyle. Executive sound engineering by yours truly, also me. Fundraising, also by Kyle. All artwork executively produced by Avery and Mark Rochon. What the heck is this? All music and lighting executively produced by Kyle. That's more like it.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming. Please drive carefully and arrive home safely. Good night.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.